if God's moral law is our standard here on earth, do you think this pandemic will arise? Do you think we'll be experiencing strife, rumors, wars, famines, and pestilences? God's moral law, or what we call the Ten Commandments of God, was imposed for the sake of humanity. It is designed to restore humanity, to mend what have been marred by our first parents, and it's a way for us to have a better life. The Ten Commandments was divided into two. The first part is our love to God, and the second part is our love for humanity. Join me as we're going to discover the morality and the ethical about God's moral law. The first commandment, you shall have no other gods before me. The first commandment of God reminded us that He is the one who saves us from the slavery of sin. As what He did to the Israel, He saves them from the tyranny of the government from Egypt. In this real picture, God cared for us. That's why He set us free from the bondage of sin. Thus, as people, He is worthy of our worship. The second commandment, you shall not make for yourself an idol. The second commandment of God reveals that He is a jealous God, because He says you cannot serve the master, otherwise you despise the other. God doesn't want us to be blinded because of sin. That's why He cares for us. He secures ourselves that we are only belong to Him, that we are not be blinded because of sin. God is our worthy to our worship because He is the one who created all things in this world, especially us, His people. The third commandment, you shall not misuse the name of the Lord your God. The third commandment of God emphasizes that there are people who are what we call religious but not spiritual. Their intention to call upon His name is to boast themselves in not exalting Him. This is the very saddest thing that humans have been practiced. Thus, they are worthy to be punished. God is so worthy to our praise. That's why we should give our 100% respect to Him. The fourth commandment, remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. The fourth commandment of God is a controversial commandment nowadays. In this commandment, it shows that it is really worth it to rest on His day, because in the first place, He rested on it, sanctified and blessed it. But humanity have bear this grace. They trampled these commandments. They didn't give value at all. Where is the ethics? Where is the moral? You've given a rest day to give communion with Him, but you ignore it. The fifth commandment, honor your father and your mother. The fifth commandment of God reveals that obeying our parents will strengthen our lives. God instructed our parents to be our example while we are living in this world. However, only good traits must be followed. Being the parents have a bigger responsibility. So before you think to become a parent, make sure that you live God's word in your lives. Parents, do you value your responsibility? Children, do you respect your parents? Being respectful is not good, but being a parent that is showing that not good good traits is always a bad behavior. So, children, decide wherein you only follow the moral traits of your parents. And thus, you will live a good life in accordance to His divine will. The sixth commandment, you shall not murder. Do you think killing others' life is good? Do you think taking lives of others is moral? Killing is an act wherein you steal others' life. Remember, you don't have any right to kill or to steal another's life or to end one's life, for it is very valuable than anything in this world. God reminded us that thou shalt not kill, for it is a very wicked act ever in this world. The seventh and eighth commandment, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal. Do you think claiming someone's possession, rights, and even properties is good? Do you think claiming something without the consent of the other is still moral? No, you're not. Stealing is an act wherein you claim others' possession, properties as your own. Stealing makes others' lives miserable. God forbid this act, for it is still one's dignity. Do you think loving someone without his or her consent is not stealing? No, you're wrong. It is stealing because you claim his or her love without his conscience. God is very meticulous in this commandment because He forbid stealing, because stealing makes others' lives miserable, especially claiming others' dignity as your. The ninth commandment, you shall not give false testimony. The very saddest thing in this commandment is that we are living in this world full of lies. False prophets, false testimonies, that we are blinded to see the truth. These commandments, God reminds us that our words can influence others' lives. Do you think saying to someone that is not true is moral? Do you think saying to someone without his proper knowledge is moral? No, brethren. We are living in this world that our words is very powerful because there's only two things that our words can influence: to build others' life or to ruin others' lives. That is why God states that we should not bear false witnesses against our neighbors. And that's the thing is, we only need to speak what is true and what is reliable. The 10th commandment, you shall not covet. Wishing someone's property, someone's possession, rights, and everything to be yours. Do you think it is good? No, brethren, it is unlawful to God. These commandments reminds us that we only need to be content of what we have, because in the first place, it is being molten by a blazing fire. And what we should look up is that heavenly kingdom, and not the treasure here on earth.